Hi, so let's talk a little bit about this whole calorie in versus calorie out thing. You know, it's one of the main things that happens with a lot of clients that I train, especially if have a lot of weight to lose. Um, a lot of clients that I coach. The challenge is that you think that calories in versus calorie out is always the way and always the answer, and so therefore the mentality often is, and I'm sure you're told that, is that if I consume less calories, then therefore I'm going to lose weight. Now that seems mathematically logical, right? So if you take in 2,000 calories and you burn off, say, 2,500 calories, then you're going to lose weight. Or if it's 2,000 in and 2,000 out, then you're going to maintain weight, which of course makes mathematical sense. Here's the challenge with that, and I say this having a lot of experience with a lot of clients successfully navigating out of that. Okay, so preface it with this. The challenge that we have is that mentality. The reality of what happens is is something a little bit different. What happens is your body actually will slow down when it consumes less calories over a consistent period of time. Now, what exactly is that period of time? Let's not worry about that for a second, but let's just talk about kind of big picture view here. If you are used to, say, taking in 1,200 calories, let's use this as an example. I definitely have clients who probably average around 12 to 1,400 calories a day on eating, and they're sitting around, the kind of 290, 300-pound mark initially when we first start training. And that's pretty consistent. Now, of course, people are going to have their binges and different things that are happening. The challenge is that your body will actually, so naturally your body would probably burn, say, I don't know, the math on that's probably around 2,300, somewhere around there, would be where you're, based on your weight, how much calories you should be burning every day, and therefore how much you should eat to maintain your weight. What happens is your body actually starts slowing down. It has some hormones in it to help measure how much food you're taking in, and then the less you take in over a consistently long period of time, the more your body actually sends signals to itself to say, slow down all your metabolism, because 75 to 90% of all the calories you burn is just literally from living, from thinking, from digesting food, from just absolute most basic body function. Running your immune system takes a lot. That's where most of your calories get burned from. So your body can regulate that. You can down-regulate calorie burn, and the body functions it's using to burn those calories. So it doesn't need to run your digestive system all the time, so it can shut that right down. Your hormonal system it's a one you don't want to mess with, and can absolutely get messed up if you go too low on calories. What ends up happening is then your body, say you go down to about the 1,200 calorie mark as an example, what ends up happening is your body then gets used to that lower amount. It might take, say, on average, I would say it takes about 2 weeks for your body to adapt and start changing and slowing you down. So I think that's true a lot of times. You see when people go on weight loss journeys and they do some kind of more extreme program, or start really restricting the calories, which they think mentally that's what you're supposed to do. What happens is that your body, for the first couple of weeks, you'll drop a lot of weight. And then what happens after that is your body just stops. And you'll notice that if you've ever had that happen to you. And so I really don't want that to happen to you. We want to be able to build that for you. And so you kind of maybe you might not lose a lot of weight initially in the first week or two, but then that's actually going to improve over time. So the 1,200 calorie mark, again, is the example I'm using in this. Not that it has to be the set amount, right? Everyone's different on how much they need to burn. Your body will slow all its systems down, and then suddenly you will need to maintain that 1,200 calories just to maintain your weight. And then what you'll find is if you go above that, which you inevitably will, it's so easy to do, especially at such a low calorie level. You have one little binge, one little thing. Next thing you know, you're up 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds in a matter of a few days, because your body has slowed right down. Okay, so if you look at, now you take the extreme other version, just use this as an example. Now athletes might use up to 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day. Let's say 4,000 calories a day. If they're training twice a day for an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe more a day, for each session, they're going to burn through a lot of calories. Now they're a lot less weight, than 300 pounds, but the burn that they're getting, because their body is functioning at such a high level and they have such lean muscle mass on their body, not a lot of fat mass, then their body's running at a high level, and that might be what you call high metabolism. but it's also just your body running at a high level because it's used to being conditioned at that level, and it's also then burning a lot of calories because of how much work it's doing. And that's why they're able to stay so lean. And it's also then why they're able to, why they put so much weight on usually when the athletes stop training at such an elite level. You know, they retire or have some significant injury that retires them for them or for a couple of years. Because they can't work at that level, they're used to eating at that level, so they'll keep eating at that level, but then what happens is their body will obviously slow down because of they're not using the same amount of energy that they were before, so they're not burning off the same amount of calories, and so then suddenly they put a lot of weight on. So just coming again back to the point is it's not always just about calories in, calories out. Sure it is at some point, some level, I 100% agree that it is, but where we don't take into account is that your body will actually down-regulate. It can change. Your body can make it go up or down the amount of calories that you burn. So yes, it's about how many calories you're burning, but you also want to do it sustainably, right? You want to do it over the long term. I mean, I could easily get lots of clients to drop weight by just not eating for 3-4 days and do a fasting program, or even a week-long fast. It's not very healthy to do when you're not conditioned to doing it at all. I'll preface by saying that. So you just want to be mindful of that. So what I really want you to be conscious of that whilst you're going through the program and while you're thinking about your food choices. So hope you can trust me. Feel free to do as much research as you want. In fact, don't trust me. Go out and do your own research. But honestly, at the end of the day, the best research is on your own body and your own self. What you'll find, and so what I like to talk to clients about is getting the mind around this, is what you'll find in the first couple of weeks. If you're not used to eating more calories, so say you go from 1,200 to, I don't know why I keep using 1,200, but that's just the example we're using here. Go from 1,200 to say 2,000, right? Your body will put on a little bit of weight. It might even maintain, but it might put on a little bit of weight in a week or two. But then what happens after the week or two, again, remember your body takes a couple of weeks to adjust. Everyone's different, but about 2 weeks. Then suddenly you'll start burning more calories. Your body will upregulate and start using all its energy as it should, and your digestive system will kick up. You might notice you start pooing more regularly, more frequently. Your immune system will kick up, which will help regulate your internal, all the bacteria, and making sure you're staying healthy. Because again, all that stuff slows down, which means you're more likely to get sick. Yeah, you're not going to poo as much, which means you're keeping that inside of you. Urination is the same thing, especially with water intake. So if you go up to about 2,000 calories, just using this as the example, you might put on a pound or two, but what will happen after that is your body will upregulate, and then suddenly the same amount of calories you're burning, you'll start losing weight, and it's like, what the hell's going on here? I've had clients absolutely have that happen to them. And so, just trust that it'll work, or at least give it a go and give it a try, and be positive thinking about that. And so I just want you to really focus on that. Hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. So then the next step that happens after that is you upregulate the calories. You see how the weight continues to drop, starts dropping and then continues to drop, and then you change things as you go over time. But we really never want to drop your calories down unless you're doing some kind of fasted program, which is okay to do, but we just got to be mindful of timing of when to do that and what to focus on. I want to make sure that you have a healthy relationship with food and you don't see it as a tool just to lose weight. We got to think about you nourishing the body, feeding yourself properly, and you will be at the weight you want to be with the look you want to look. If you want to do significant weight work, if you want to have more lean muscle on you, you have to do some obviously weights work on that, but you'll get basically the leaner look and feeling, and the energy levels will absolutely increase because your body again is upregulating rather than constantly being pushed down because it doesn't have the calories, so it's not going to burn the calories if it doesn't have to, right? Our bodies are good conservationists, and so it's used to feast and famine. And when you're in that famine, or your body thinks it's in that famine, 1 day isn't going to matter, 2 days isn't going to matter, but you start doing that a week, 2 weeks, then plow that into years of trying to do that, it will not go well for you. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions.